So I should have looked at that before I glued it. Now I got glue probably everywhere on me. Come on. Okay, now I need to try to get some glue down in there. I got room to do one more. So I got plenty of clamps. Do this one. Wet the middle one. That's it. Let's see. Well, that should keep it flat. That works on that one. Being the smallest one, I'll bring the other one down to this size. And that pretty close. And I take that down. I think it'll work. Wish me luck, folks. So I Carefully made those match. Now when I put one of these on there, it matches both sides. So when I cut those to fit, that looks great. I know it's hard for the camera to catch on to that, but because they stop here and like here, and then the sides will blend in, which won't be particularly easy, but it's doable. While I have it apart, I should make a pattern. This one filled nicely. This one's not bad. And then what I think I'm going to do is run a strip in between these. And it will still, I think, look appropriate, but it will cover up all that nightmare. So this is the inside end where the drawers slide on. You'll never see it much. So I'm not going to do much more to that. And this is completely covered because that's where the top box nails on. This will just have to dry, then it can be sanded. That looks pretty good. Looks like I'm about ready to start fitting these corners. That's going to be interesting to get that joint to disappear. I think I want that joint to fall at the same place. On every side. Pretty good. So this is a little confusing. This is where the drawer, the back of the drawers, the front down here. So I'm gluing the bottom of the inside case together. Because it's an inner case and an outer case based on the fact that it has this tambor that slides inside. So I am going to glue it using water, and I got some 18 gauge nails, and I don't want to nail as much as they did, but I want to use these as guides to make sure I hit the right holes, meaning that the case will slide with any luck after it's back together. So let me do the other side real quick and then I'll clamp it. I knew this was going to be a complicated assembly. And I keep telling myself I should be making patterns. But am I? No. I have a feeling by the time I'm done with this box, I don't know if I'd want to make another one. I put the bottom drawer in there to make sure the space is right. And these nails will slide in and out, so I'm not concerned. I just want those as markers. Fact. Tack this one in a little bit because it is not allowing it to be straight. I need 6 hands. There it goes. Back in its original hole, it just was bent, what bowed the bottom board. So that should slide freely when all is said and done. There's no glue near it. If I can get it to turn around. I'm going to glue the top shelf in. Do I have it the right direction? I believe I do. This is going to be tricky again. This is where you'll learn new cuss words, probably, if you don't know them already. Okay, now my water. And let's see if I turn it around. I think I need it. Yep. Now I will attempt to locate the original holes again. I got you. About the best I can do is measure as close to square as I can. So let's see if I use this corner of this box. to there, it's 23 and 5/8. From there to this corner is 23 and 5/8 strong. 23 and 5/8. 23 and 5/8 strong. So if I just, I'm going to call that done. Leave well enough alone. These ends you see me dealing with go outside here on top of this, and that's what the tambor goes between here. Rides in this groove here. I'm repeating myself, but two reasons. One is so I'll understand, and hopefully you can understand along with me. Well, it looks like everything glued up pretty good. At the moment, glue is holding it together. I have no fasteners at all. So I assume I got these 17 gauge nails holding it temporary, and some of them glued in a little bit, but they're not big enough to fill the holes that the previous nails took. Okay, now put all the drawers in a minute ago to make sure they all slid well. So I'm satisfied with that. I didn't do more damage. I still have to pick the glue out that foamed up. So that's a good sized nail. I just don't need as many as they had in here before. Alright, so as I was talking, this is the carcass, interior carcass. The exterior carcass is glued to the clamp. The little rubber. So the exterior carcass, this comes up, rides here, and then the tambor rides it back again, talking about these guides. So now I have to attach these and the bottom on the case. Neat design. And this goes here. Okay. So I guess I got to put the trim around it first. Fill these little hooks. It'll glue up on some loose slivers. I can put this out of the way for a while. So many holes. I will glue this on just like I glued the ends on them and tack them. If I don't forget to tack them anyway. So now I want this to extend out a little bit here. So what I'm going to do is take a shim and lay it on the table. Should have two of them. That will give me that reveal that I'm looking for. Hopefully. It's a little bumpy right there. Get something flat. So now when I put that on, not only do I have enough to cover the front, that gives me that nice reveal on the back. Nice. When I grind everything off, then that'll be perfect. So let's try the other side. Perfect. Or is it? I can use a little more angle. That I like. Okay. Good, good, good. That looks good. I'm just using my belt sander. Okay, now I need to piece that twice. And that's going to be approximately, so if I make 6 inches. Okay. Now those can be fit. I think I want you straighter. Definitely want you straighter. So back to the beginning, you saw that everything was kind of, the finish had gone bad and turned white. I'm not sure why. And it scratched when the tambor went back. Now if I look at it carefully, deep, I don't know if you'll be able to get the reflection, but there are old deep scratches. So it's been a problem since day one, mainly because they just didn't put a felt. So I'm going to replace put felt in it, and that will take care of that scratching problem. So back to the wonderful stripper that eats your brains. Ooh-wee, it stinks. Aircraft stripper. worth its weight in gold. It smells like petroleum skunk, if there is such a thing, which I'm sure there's not. I'm not going to use this stripper on the tambour part because, as I'll show you here in a few minutes, it has cotton on the back, and that's what these are glued to, with hide glue probably, and it seems to be very stable. And I'm a firm believer in, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Luckily, you can take one panel off the back and repair anything that has to do with the tambour. So, clean it with a little bit of 4/0 steel wool. Make sure I get down there. Then I will go over it with paint thinner to stop the stripping action of the stripper. Ta-da! Best stuff on the market. Okay, I wiped it down off cam. Now you can see what the fabric on the back of the tambour looks like. It's just a nice cotton. I don't think it's linen. It would be nice if it was linen, and it may very well be, and that's why it's held up. So I just wipe this down with thinner and it's going to look fine. I don't have to strip it or sand it or do anything to it at all. So now to wait for it to dry and I'll finish. Well, I think I glued up the last panel. It's been a big project. I got some work to do now to clean out all this groove and the adhesive on here, cut these to length, and then shape this so it's nice and round again. So I have 2 of those to do. Never in my wildest dreams did I think it would be this much. And this is the tambour. Looks much better today now that I stripped it and finished it. Another coat of finish and it'll be beautiful. So I got these cleaned up enough for now. I will run them through the belt sander, like I said before, to clean this up. I just wanted to make sure my tambour still fits. I may have to adjust here. So I set up, and I don't know if I need the drawers for this, but it doesn't hurt, I suppose. So when I've made 2 shims just slightly thicker than the tambour. So my goal now is to be able to fit it and trim this outer thing until it goes in. And I got about 1/8 of an inch to take off from both sides. which isn't unexpected, but it's a pain in the butt. I can't change anything because that would affect all of the inner mechanisms for the tambor. So it looks like my best bet to get that, I just need like a 1/16 of an inch off of all four sides. I couldn't do it easily before to keep it to glue straight because this panel is so thin that it would have rocked as I tried to glue it, and I wanted as much surface as possible. So I drew a pencil line across the top. I'm going to take a utility knife and I'm going to cut right about that deck. Start with a small chisel. Hopefully I glued this well enough that when I go down I won't break this off the panel. So I'm just going to follow that line. Nice and straight. This is going to be visible after it's all said and done. I think this chisel keeps me from hurrying. Boogering it up. So I'm just going to continue with this one, and it appears to work quite sharply. So I sanded this. Still needs fine tuning, but I'll do that when the carcass is together so I can round it. Doesn't look bad. This cleaned up nicely. I sanded it inside so it's smooth for the timbre. I can't test the timbre easily, so I'm just going to pray that it works out. I made two shims slightly bigger than the timbre, and they will sit in here once I glue that on. In the meantime, I have to pour out some glue. I will be mechanically fastening it through some of the existing holes. I'm not going to use as many nails as the original person did, but I'll certainly use a few. Now I'm going to turn it over. I was thinking about applying some weight to the center. I guess it won't hurt. So that's progress.